Well, here we are on the next defensive round here with Fusilier Bread of the 59th. Whoops-a-daisy! Oh, they lost a couple of people already. Jackie Fish, shot with a pistol. And a nice oh, heavens, what's going on over there? Looks like the cannons have found their perfect position. And now they're engaging the enemy with a lot of fire. Mad Penguin of the 59th moving out. They're going to move into a defensive position. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, what's going on there? See if we can find out as the Brits are making their way forward. That might be a little bit of an error. We'll have to wait and see. So, riflemen's... Oh, look at that. Cannons facing right down the bridge length. Oh, that's going to be brutal. The cannon at the B point. They've got it manned and they've got it ready and waiting. That's going to be nasty. Melchett of the 51st. Moving down as there we go. More fire coming in. Charlie the Turtle with a couple of more deaths to his name. Look at that, 4-0 already. And there you go, the British are capturing the abandoned village. And there's the A point. And you've obviously got the abandoned village. So, let's see. So there's the C point. See if we can get over to the sea. So there's the abandoned village down there on the right hand side of the screen, supported by cannons from overhead. That's the French encampment. It's our old friend Mr. Malakith Scardy, with a cannonball waiting to go. Working together with Angel. There we go, loads his cannon. So, good stuff indeed. Nice to see Mal in here. Oh, goodness. Fire coming in from the French forces as Jackie Fish and the other members of the British Army reform and get ready to move out. And here, the French monk. In as the French. Look at this. Brave souls walking across the bridge. And the hilltop ruins being captured. Look at that. Oh, wow. Holy crap, the French got completely blindsided there by the capturing attempts of the British. A very quick win. Well, all we can say is, ahoy sailors. We're on a boat. Look at this. So, a few guns there, but the other schooner, look at this. Multiple guns, beautiful piece of kit. And you can make your way up onto the rigging if you so desire. And there we go, the sails are deployed as we go in for a little bit of naval fun. So, these are all the ships that you can get in. You can see each of the cannon positions. You're going to have reload situations. You're going to have somebody steering in as the captain. You have lights all over the place. You have cannons at the front and rear. And there you can see you're going to have surgeons to try and help. Oh, look at that. Oh, fine violin work. Lovely stuff indeed. There is Fortune Zero in as a sailor. And there's the French monk. In as a smurf by the looks of it. So, here is the quick one at the front. As what looks like a marine. There we go, look at that. So, it looks like these guys are going to be making their way out of here. At some point they will be moving. You can see they haven't deployed any sails as of yet. And here we go. Something strange going on there with Cossat. So here you can see the boat getting set up. Moving into position. A rowboat out in the middle of nowhere. Barge to one side. You can let rowboats out the side of these ships. So you can essentially go and board. Oh dear. There's a swimmer in the water. A carpenter. It's not going to go well for him. You can see there's a rope to climb back onto the ship. But I don't think that's going to work out for him. So we've got the camera lens a little wet now. So, okay, so there you can see Kos taking pot shots at the enemy ships. We're now looking at one of the big old French buggers getting set up with the cannons. Fire coming in. The lava getting reloaded, and you're going to have basically a, let's just show you what we've got here. So here's the cannon position. There you can go to the reload box, get yourself essentially either a cannonball, standard round shot, or you can get chain shots to enable you to take down the rigging and the mast predominantly of the enemy ships. Now, some ships, obviously, if you end up fighting at night, you will need lanterns. So you've got lanterns like that one there, just by the marine. And you can obviously have, there's going to be pumps to go and get more water. And these ships can take some damage as well. So here we are looking at Freya. And you see also you've got essentially ladders on the side of the ship. So if you happen to fall overboard, you can climb back onto the ship. And you have the ability to essentially deploy a boat from the center of the ship. However, they are limited on the number that you have. So you don't want to use them all at once. So. Oh, somebody just jumped out the back. So they couldn't take any more. So here we are looking at the British. Interesting. Let's have a look. There's Diplex. And you can see a front-facing cannon from Diplex here. As the cannonballs come whistling over the top of his head. And there we go, it's on the rotation. And here is Hacksaw. In with his lovely blunderbuss. And another Smurf. And here's Brosk. More Smurfs. And Olafsson as well. Don't they look wonderful? And there is Harbinger in as a captain. You can see the fine captain uniform. The officer's sword. And his Eldridge in. So essentially you can board another ship. Attack that ship. Go in for a little bit of melee fun. And here is Spooky. Firing the cannon shot. Looking to see if he's got the length he wants for the hit on the ship in the far edge of, you can see there, the far distance. Just by the horizon is there, you can see the cannonball shots going in. And they do get the odd kill every now and then. So, here is Lands in as the surgeon. He'll be in a position to repair any damage. You're going to have carpenters eventually who will be able to... Oh, goodness. Carpenters, there you can see Pounder steering the ship. So, essentially, carpenters will be able to repair the damage. Now, the advantage, obviously, of being able to steer the ship, you can drop the sails. You can essentially push the W button to increase the speed. And you can also press the A button to deploy less of the sails and to slow the speed down. But obviously, faster speed means that you can turn in a bigger circle. Slower speed means you have a smaller turning circle, but obviously the disadvantage of being slower. Now, obviously, if you lose any of these masts as a result of action, there's a distinct possibility that your ability to maneuver will be reduced quite significantly. And you can see just by the mast back there, that little handle there, that's the water pump. So if you start getting the below area flooded, you can start pumping out the water as quickly as you can. So you can also go up the rigging if you wish, if that is your particular thing. Make your way up to the crow's nest. So that is a possibility, but it's very, very awkward at this current moment to get up there without snuffing it or falling off the rigging. And the last thing you want to... Oh dear. There's a man swimming for his life. So, you see these guys continuing. They're keeping their distance at the moment. Quite significant keeping their distance. So, we'll just have to wait. But look at that. There's a chain shot. And you can see about half the distance they needed. So, the chain shot will wrap itself round one of these great big huge masts. Snap it. Do the damage. The mast will then come down under its own weight. The ship will then lose the ability to maneuver. And that will be a problem for them. That therefore giving the enemy the advantage. And here is Bosmando. Now, this is not the only map for the naval battles. You will have, obviously, much, much smaller maps, islands, all that kind of stuff for, essentially, what is more close-in and intense battles. Sailing between islands, using the islands for cover. This is just an open sea map. And there you can see Hal playing the violin. Fantastic violin stuff. While on the ship. And I keep telling him, turn the lights off. Because you're only pointing to essentially your own location. Oh my goodness, it's Norwegian. And here we go. See, look. Up on one of the crow's nests. By no means the highest crow's nest. But halfway up the mast, he can now get himself into a position where he can fire down on the enemy. He's also got a lantern up there, should he wish to use that lantern for a little bit of extra light on the subject. Oh, listen to that whistling of the cannonballs going past them. There's Fusilier Bread. You see him aiming the cannon, firing the cannon very quickly into that multi-masted ship up ahead. Rhaegar in captain's uniform, looking devilishly handsome in all that braid. Doesn't he look wonderful? And there you can see the deployed boats by Posh Panda, ready to be deployed. You just click on them, click on the E button and it will deploy a boat off the side of the ship. But obviously, after a certain while, it will then be let go and you have to be in the boat. You can steer the boat if that's what you want to do. Oh, goodness me. Somebody thinks it's the Titanic. There's wreck scent. Oh, goodness me. Now, that's something else to consider, boys and girls. When you're firing or when you're playing on the boats, you can see, look at this. This boat has taken a lot of damage. So if we go back here, you can see the amount of damage that this ship has taken. Quite a significant amount. That's what the carpenters will help repair. But if for what reason one of these cannons is loaded and it gets hit by, again, like enemy cannonball, there's a distinct possibility that the cannon will explode, kill anybody who's around it, and essentially be taken out of the running as a functional cannon. So it's possible for you to lose cannons over the course of time. Look at that, Jackie looking off into the distance, waiting for an opportunity as they're taking or trying to take down that multi-masted ship of the French army, or the French Navy, I should say. Sorry. Oh dear, look at this, the fire coming into this boat. It's starting to look a little bit like a Swiss cheese, more of a colander than an actual boat. But obviously you've got guns both sides. You can continue to use them on both sides. You want to really try and sort of spread the damage if you possibly can. But right now, this particular frigate is pretty much in deep trouble. It can still fire back. It's not lost too many of the guns. It has lost some of its seaworthiness, and now it's lost a mast. Down goes the mast. That immediately starts to affect the ability for the ship to be controlled as much as it would do under normal circumstances. And now you can see the cannons being rotated around up by the front to engage the enemy. And look at this, you see them moving into the new position. The cannon firing at the enemy as the cannon comes whistling over the top of the HMS Fish. Or at least the fish face who is on the HMS Fish, I suppose, Mr. Jackie Fish. Listen to those cannonballs whistling past the ship. Fantastic stuff. Don't stand there, Jackie. Oh dear, your timing could not have been better, Jackie. Good job, mate. Good job. Oh dear. So, let that be a lesson to you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't stand in front of the cannons. Don't be like Jackie. Obviously now suffering from a little bit of lead poisoning. And here we go. Oh god, it had to be Asdir out on the boat by himself. So basically these guys are now stranded in the middle of nowhere. They're probably going to have to end up eating each other, which means Asdir's probably going to be the first one eaten. So there's Waddy out there. And now they're just floating back and forth. Lost at sea, the insanity, and suddenly drinking the salt water will be next. That's a rather ambitious shot there from David. But yeah, Asdir doesn't look very happy about the situation he's in. He is the surgeon, so I suppose if they decide to eat one of them, the surgeon can chop up the body. But then you don't really have anywhere for it to barbecue it. You can't really set a fire in the centre. So this is essentially the smallest ship in the battle. Mr. Banana. Look at that. It's getting close in for the fire. There's a chain shot going into one of the enemy masts. And another chain shot maybe going in over the top as double fire coming in from the enemy over the top. Look at that. That's a chain shot going for that all-important mast. And down goes one of the masts of the enemy. Look at that. The sustained fire coming in from, we'll call this the banana boat. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Nice strategy by the captain. Doing a lot of damage, which means that the enemy ship will be very seriously oh, look at that! Oh, wow. Holy crap. These guys are doing a number on them. Fantastic play by the members of that force. And this is a serious problem. You can see these guys have lost themselves an area. Yeah, there we go. Asdir's given up now. There's poor Necron, who seems to be literally all at sea with a lantern for company. Which is probably not a good situation for him. But looks like the ship may be coming in closer for a boarding situation. And these guys have got all their masts. They're going for the smaller ship. Trying to take out those masts. Do the damage that is important. There's Mortimer. And the remaining members there. As there's Melchett continuing with his rifle. Sorry, with his virtual guitar. Jesus Christ. Virtual violin. I knew it started with a V. I wasn't far off. And look at that. The ship slowly starting to sink. The last mast falling into the water. But still the ship remains afloat. And still the ship can fire. Just a matter of finishing them off. Oh, heavens above. Now they've lost a mast as well. Oh, that's not a good situation for them. That's immediately going to affect their maneuverability. But they are determined to finish off the enemy. And down goes the ship as Mickey and the lads get into boats and try and escape. Harbinger, now they're going for an attack on the enemy. The Naval. Oh, down goes one of the boats. Few survivors remain in the water, but the question is whether or not they'll wait. They may not wait because there'll be a target for the enemy ship. And the cannons, so they have to swim through the... Oh, down they go! Now all of them will have to swim to that enemy boat if they're going to have any kind of situation. But now look at this. There's no Geneva Convention, boys and girls. They're being shot at in the water. Going to be a nasty situation for these guys. Look at that, the fire coming in. As Chief Centurion of the 77Y currently standing by in the boat. Poor old Boz, probably going to be the last person living. And the 59th. Currently all rather unhappy under the circumstances. There's Tim doing his impression of Leo DiCaprio. And here is Angel. There's the chain shot. I don't know who... Oh, wow, that's a long distance shot there. As there's Wookiee coming in. And there we go, a nice kill onto the enemy. As now they're going to make their way in as Wookiee makes his way into the battle. And they're going to slice him, but he gets finished off very quickly. And this is what can happen when you can board the ship. As the stabby goodness continues on the deck. The captain fighting for his life. As more of the ship gets reduced. Oh dear. Reduced into woodwork. 46 seconds left on the clock. Mortimer having to be very, very careful. As the fire continues from the cannons. As Nikron has lost his boat. And Melchett and Hoffy moving over to what's left of that boat. See if we can find anything. There's Spooky. Oh, shot! Shot on the front of the boat as he tried to jump over. Poor Spooky. Never mind. As this is one of the few survivors of the battle. As there's the reinforcements. Charlie the Turtle taking a lot of fire and firing with the shots. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The British have been victorious. Well, here we are with another round, and this is Aztir looking through his spyglass at what is a fort attack from the sea by the members of the United Kingdom, the British Navy. And here you can see the defensive position, the fort, the cannons all around, the flags waiting for capture. There's the French monk being deafened by the local cannons. So let's see if we can find out what's going on with the troops. There's some defenders getting set up. Let's have a look around, shall we? Ah, here we go, the 51st, and look at the size of that flipping cannon. It's enormous. These great big huge artillery pieces mounted on a small boat. Gonna try and do as much damage as they can to the fort. As down, oops, Daisy. Down went poor old Melchett. You can see them aiming for what remains of the boats. Oh, look at that. There's Chinchilla the hero in a very small boat. Cannons either side. A small cannon up the front, as you can see. Literally like an equivalent of a patrol boat. But still capable of doing some damage. But against these massive cannons defending the fort. It's going to be questionable. Oh, the fire going into that ship. Fusilier Bread continuing to try and survive. There's Aztir. Officer. Man with a spyglass. The quick one, loading cannonballs. And here you can see Norwegian coming into the front of the fort. This is going to be a dangerous situation for them. They want to try and land. And they're going to come under fire from a from a Frenchman on the side of the water. And look, he can't really go any further. Correction, he just got shot. That may have been Aztir. It's distinctly possible it was. So now you can see here Norwegian and the guys making their way up. As there's a Frenchman attacking the boat as it lands. And looks like he's taken somebody down. That's Broski, I think it was. Royal Hussar Andre trying to defend himself from the brutal attacks of the French forces. Here is Dr. Jones deciding to abandon ship and swim to the shore. Angel continues to load the massive cannon as these guys continue making their way towards the main fort entrance. Plenty of swimmers now. Pixelated Apollo trying to get up the side of the rock. But it's defensive rock for a reason, Sunshine. As his teammate just got murdered in front of him. So, Fusilier Darkslayer. They've got to find a way into the fort. That's going to be a difficult situation for them. So, they're forming up and getting ready to move out. Under the command of Lieutenant Pierre. Deciding on which course of action is required. Oh goodness, it's Napoleon Bonaparte. There's an abandoned shop. Oh dear. Yeah, they always seem to find these kind of things in this game. Got a real talent for it, these boys. So here you go. Moving towards the fort. Oh, cannonball right between a lot of them. Deciding to stand and fight. Out come the pistols and the guns. Oh, down goes one member. That was HGM. With a fine headshot. Finished off. Now you can see the Marines and the sailors moving up further. To the wonderful accompaniment of the violin. As the bullets rattle around these guys. Oh, look at that. The cannonball. As Jackie Fish gets finished off. Now you can see them moving closer to the fort. They're going to move up just that little bit further. See if they can get in there and do some damage onto the French fort. Oh! Down goes Darkslayer. So here is Mr. Banana. Loading a nearby mortar. You can see this area where the ships would be built. You can see the keel being laid. Look at that, and the start of the frame of the ship. All being supported by the block and tackles and the rigging. Ready for the ship to be built. And then sailed out into the water. Or pushed out into the water. Probably rolled on great big huge logs. So, there's Necron in the water again. Oh goodness, it's Lord John. And there is Leo DiCaprio. Yeah, you're flying. You're flying, whatever. So, Praetorian's in there as the surgeon. As the artillery position is continuing to be defended. You can see some of the cannons have been broken. The mortars continue to be fired. The front of the fort as the defensive position. You can see the... oh, flippin' heck. The sailors continue to take fire. As there's David. Couple of corpses on the top there. So they're going to be looking to try and take down the enemy. As that ship is getting reduced to splinters and matchwood. But you can find Chinchilla the hero. Oh, he's about to take some fire. Out comes the blunderbuss possibly. So you can see these guys continue to find a route in if they can. I think the area they were just looking at would be the best location for the route. But they're probing the defences, if you pardon the expression. So, Olafsson and Markva. Okay, we're back after that 7 minimisation. Not sure what occurred. Sometimes happens on my machine. It'll just minimise itself for no reason. There's Diplex. And we're watching Lands moving out to defend the fort. And obviously, do apologise about the... Oh, there's Reflex. Producer. And Head Honcho. Good to see he's getting involved with a bit of cannony fun. Face of determination. And obviously the artillery helps. So this will be the defensive position here. They want to try and defend that door from being pushed in by the enemy. So let's see how things are going. Look at that fire coming in from the cannons on the top of the building. The small attached on the wall. All sorts of fun and goodness is occurring. So, let's have a look around. He's still there. As they're trying to essentially reduce this fort to rubble. But you've obviously got a designed fort. And now we can see Homicidal Puppy making his way out. You can see the main city there, defended by high walls, with boats being built nearby, and then obviously the main fort defending the position. So, there's Eldridge trying to help the defense. Oh dear. Lots of murdering is occurring, and look at this, they found a way into this fort area. You can see the rubbleization of the wall has occurred. Oh, I'm hearing a piano. How lovely. So, there's Harbinger. There's Diplex. Oh, look at that. Sections of the wall being taken down near Diplex. Pounder. Lovely, lovely piano music in the background. There's Charlie the Turtle. And there's David. See if we can find the piano player, shall we? Here's Aztir. Avoiding the bullets as per usual. Although not always the cannonballs. Ah, it's the quick one. Loading the cannons. Or predominantly the mortar. I'm not seeing an enemy ship as look at that. Cannonballs come flying over the top of the hill. Over the top of the fort. Oh, look at this. Andre coming under fire as he tries to swim aboard, onto the beach. There's Rykon. And here is Pixelated Apollo. Ahoy, sailor. Sailing into the fray. Lots of little boats continuing to push forward. So here is Uganda 888. Trying to force back the enemy. With Posh Panda. And here is Bosmando. Dark Slayer currently swimming into the fort area. Oh, it's the fish. Along with 59th decoy. So this is always going to go well. Oh dear. Oh no. The boats are ashore, but it's awkward rocks to get in there. And here is Struve working together with Napoleon. You can see him checking. And look at that. The French are capturing Shipyard A. That's going to be a serious problem. There you go. You can see the A point over there by the shipyard. And the question is whether or not the French are going to try and do anything to stop it. There we go. It looks like it has been stopped. Look at that fine keel. Doesn't it look beautiful? So here you can see forces defending the shipyard and the relative flag location. Unconnected. And here's Stru looking through his captain's spyglass at what is occurring. So, there's Lennox. Nice little hut he's got there, checking out his reflection, no doubt. Admiring himself in all his beauty. So it looks like we've got 4 minutes left. And the French have not really had too much trouble defending these points. The British trying to push into that fort, not having much success, continually being held back by the French army. But including Freya with the most ineffectual pistol shot ever. But it's all part of the fun. So here you can see the cannonballs whistling over the top of Melchit's head. And unconnected, and here they are defending the beach quite aggressively. As you can see, a boat come charging into the beach. Oh, gets hit, and they all have to bail out. Oh dear, look at that. Now they're going to come under fire as they're swimming, and down goes the boat. Oh, that was just brutal. Look at that. As now the forces of the British Army cut down in their prime, sinking to the bottom of the sea. Generally a brutal situation there as the boat continues to go glub, glub, glub to the bottom. So, looks like we've got a single swimming sailor out there. Currently coming under fire. Correction, 2 swimming sailors. But there's still plenty more sailors to go. As the actress said to the bishop. Look at that, they're even firing cannons at those sailors. Private Mickey showing no quarter. But with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left on the clock, it's looking very good for the French army. Defending this fort. Making their way in through the front gate. And you can see some of the sections of the fort have been rubberized by the artillery fire. But the French have remained unbowed as there is a random chicken. Thank you, random chicken. Look at that. Shots coming in. Look at that. It looks like the mortars got finished off as well. Because now you can see going after the remaining soldier in this water. Oh, is he going to make it? It doesn't look good for him. Down goes another man. And they're looking. And the question is, oh, could this be aggressive attack here? Coming in from the French forces, going after the boat that remains. Another one's come charging in right now. They're looking to go maybe around the side, possibly. Oh, who's that? And it's literally... it's like an afternoon on a English boating lake. It's quite funny. With some beautiful driving into rocks by Pounder. So, 1 minute. Oh dear. Left on the clock. And it's looking good for the French. As you can see, them all trying to get on the ships, on the boats. Getting into a sat-down position. There we go. And away they go. Oh no. Somebody's been left behind. Oh, this could be unfortunate. As you can see, fire coming in. There we go. The mast gets taken down of the British ship. And in come a boatload of French to attack. Oh, goodness me. Look at that. Shooting the man that's in the water. Oh, looks like one's fallen out. Oh, dear. Oh, he's on the boat. He's attacking. Oh, it was Jackie Fish. And look at this. Oh, fire ship-to-ship combat with pistols and all the lovely stuff. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, dear. The ship is sinking. And there you have it, boys and girls.